Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. So once again from Mcfarlane Toys, this is the DC Multiverse Darkseid figure. So this is a variant of the Darkseid figure that has already been released. This is the armored version. If you are wondering how this Darkseid figure scales or matches with your DC Multiverse 2021 Justice League 2021 movie figures. Also, we have the Dark Suit Superman. So just the right scale. And we could make a diorama out of these two figures. The only accessory that comes with this Darkseid figure would be the Mother Stick or Darkseid's fighting stuff. So in packaging, you would really notice that it is quite bent. So if you're interested in really straightening this out, just apply a little bit of heat to this accessory piece and cold water afterwards. But I would retain this type of bend on my Darkseid figure stuff because I expect that since this is a fighting implement, then it should at least show a little bit of wear and tear. So those bends on the fighting stuff is just okay with me. So we have the fighting stuff or the Mother Stick with Darkseid. My only wish when they produced or somehow proportioned the fighting stuff with this figure is they could have at least have lengthened the fighting stuff a little bit longer and made the body of the fighting stuff a little more robust, because with the Darkseid figure, because this is a really big and bulky figure, the Mother Stick looks like a stick, literally a stick. So it should have been nicer if it's the fighting stuff. We should have the diameter would be a little bit bigger and the total length a tad more longer. So let's discuss the articulation points for this figure. So let's start with the head. So for the head, we have ample left and right motion. We have head tilt, downward head tilt. We have upward head tilt. Because there are 2 points of articulation as you could see on the head area. So that's number 1 articulation point, and we have another ball under the neck area. The thing that I just don't like about that articulation point is it exposes the neck joining pieces this way, and you could see that light is passing through. Well, anyway, so as for the torso area or the body area, because of the body armor, we don't have any articulation point over here, over the diaphragm. But we have a ball on the waist for circular movement and also rotational movement. For the arms, we have rotation and sideways movement. We have a cut on the biceps for rotation, 2 points of articulation for the elbow as evidenced, and we have a swivel and rotation for the hand. Now for the leg area, the leg could move upwards this way. It's quite limited, and a little bit, or I think more, on the side motion. But as for the forward motion, that's our limitation. For the knee area, we only have a single point of bend. So, and for the foot, we have a ball for the foot for rotation and sideways movement. And we also have the toe tilt. So those are the articulation points for this figure. Now, just a reminder that when you pose this figure, it tends to really fall either backwards or forwards because much of the weight on this figure is on the upper body. So the legs and the foot seems to have trouble supporting all that weight of the upper body plastic. As for details, Mcfarlane toys really shine on the amount of detail that they put on the figure. So on the body armor, you would really see a lot of fine points. So there is not an area on the body armor that is dull. It has some kind of sheen to it, but the body armor is quite the color is quite duller compared to the other armor pieces, as compared to the shoulder, the forearm guards. The forearm guards are shinier than the body armor. The protective skirt piece or the loin piece is shinier than the body armor. I could really tell because of the amount of light that I have on this review table. So, as compared to the shoulder protection, this area is more shinier than the back piece and the front or the torso armor. So this is one color, the front and the back, but this is a separate shade or color, I think, because it's a little bit shinier and darker as compared to the armor pieces, the other armor pieces. So as for the rest, we don't have any form of straps. The armor pieces seems to be molded directly to the body of Darkseid. But when you move the figure around, then it's possible that you could possibly do this, because when I was moving the forearm around, I was able to unglue this portion. So it's a good idea when you're moving this figure to have a little bit of Loctite available to re-secure those armor pieces to the body of Darkseid. This piece over here, the shin guards, they are not glued in like the forearm guards or the body armor. They are a separate floating piece. As you could see, you could move those pieces around. You could notice that out of packaging. When you take the figure out of packaging, the shin guards are kind of out of place, so you have to really move the shin guards back and forth and downwards to rearrange it to the boot area to make it one solid looking piece, because this area over here tends to be a little bit higher. It was pushed forwards, so I had to move it left, right, and pull downwards so it would rest nicely on the foot of the figure. So it's a good looking figure. We have ample articulation points. The body armor that they placed on the figure does not impede or interfere with articulation of this Darkseid figure. But Just be careful of the forearm guards when you try to move this figure, especially out of packaging, since they're going to be really stiff. Then you might possibly unglue some portions, because I've unglued this, and I also unglued a little bit of that over here and on the lower portion of the foreguard. So other observations regarding this figure, I'm really meticulous with regards to the head sculpt. And I was looking at this head sculpt. It looks okay, but after looking at it for a very long time, you could notice a little bit of head distortion, or the head sculpt is not really that nicely done, because as you could note on this area over here and over here, the jaw line seems to be sideways. I don't think that it's going to be the armor, the helmet that Darkseid has. I think it is really the mold of the head sculpt, because this armor piece over here actually is molded onto the head sculpt. So when they are glued onto the head sculpt, it takes the shape of the Darkseid head sculpt. So it's kind of just off tangent a little bit, but if it's something that you are not worried about or don't seem to care, then it's a nice looking head sculpt actually. So just a little bit of something that I really noticed on this figure when I was looking at the details for review. So with that in mind, let's put the dark suit Superman or the black suit Superman, and let's go on with the photos and the video shots.